Alright guys, so today we're going to be talking about order of operations. When you have a lot of operations, as in add, subtract, multiply, divide, you have to work out the problems in the right order in order to get the correct answer. So the correct order is Pemdas. You always have to do what's inside the parentheses first. So P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponent, M is multiply, D is divide, A is add, and S is subtract. So with multiplication and division, they have the same importance, and you always work from left to right. So if multiplication comes first before division, then you multiply first and then divide. If division comes first before multiplication, then you would divide first and then multiply. So these two are used interchangeably. You have to do it from left to right. Same goes with, at the bottom, add and subtract. You always have to do those from left to right as well. Alright, so let's do a couple of examples. So we got 3 minus 4 parentheses, 8 plus 5 close parentheses, divided by 2 times 5. So the first thing in PEMDAS is parentheses. So we're going to do everything that's inside the parentheses. So with the first parentheses, we have 8 plus 5. That's 13. We're going to drop everything else down for now. So this 13 is still inside parentheses because the parentheses now denote multiplication. So we have this negative 4 that's multiplied by this whole parentheses part. We haven't done the multiplication part yet, so we're going to drop the parentheses down to tell us to multiply later on. Divide by 2. Same thing with this 5. Even though this 5 is inside the parentheses, these parentheses denote multiplication. Inside it's just a number, it's just 5, so there's no operations that you do with the parentheses. So from here, we finish all of our parentheses. We don't have any exponents. So now we're on to the multiply and divide section, but we have to work from left to right. So the first one we come across when you go from left to right is this negative 4 times 13. And that gets you negative 52. We're going to drop everything else down for now. So we're still working from left to right, so we're going to take this negative 52, divide by 2. And then we happen to have another multiplication part afterwards, so we're going to multiply. That gets you negative 130. So from here we have 3 minus 130 to get negative 127. So if you take notice, over here we multiplied first. We got that, and then we happened to divide next. We got that, and then we went back and multiplied again. So you don't always do all your multiplication first. You don't always divide first. You work it from left to right. So if multiplication comes first, then you would multiply. If division comes first, then you would divide. All right, so let's try another one. We have 2 parentheses, or 2 minus 8 times 3 plus 6 divided by 2 times 3. So with this one, we don't have any parentheses. We don't have any exponents. So we're going to go straight down to multiply and divide from left to right. So we have this multiplication part that came first. So we got negative 8 times 3. That gets us negative 24. We're going to drop down the 2. And we're going to drop the other stuff down as well. So the next step, the next thing we have in this problem is division. So we're going to take 6 divided by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Drop everything else down. And we still have a multiplication piece that we haven't dealt with. So 3 times 3 gives you 9. And from here, we're going to have to work from left to right. Alright, so we have 2 minus 24 that we need to do. So 2 minus 24 is negative 22. And then we're going to drop down the plus 9 and combine that to get us negative 13. Alright, so we'll do one more on this slide, and then we got one more example. So let's say we have 8 divided by 2, or 8 divided by 4 times 4 minus 2 squared. So we're still going to follow PEMDAS. First thing we have is parentheses, so we're going to do everything inside the parentheses first. We got 4 minus 2. That gets us 2. We're going to drop everything else down. So 2 squared, after we finish parentheses, we have exponents. So exponents tells you how many times the number in front multiplies by itself. So the exponent of 2 tells you that this 2 that's here multiplies by itself 2 times. So 2 times 2 is going to be 4. We're going to drop everything else down. So from here we work from left to right because all we have left is multiply and divide. So in this case, division comes first. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So that's our answer. So make sure for multiply and divide, you work from left to right. Same thing with addition and subtraction. Alright, so let's try one more. So we got 6 plus 12 divided by 3 times 4 minus 6 squared plus parentheses 4 minus 7 squared. So with this one, we're going to follow Pemdas. So let me write it down, and then we'll cross it out as we go along. So P is for parentheses. We're going to go through, do all of our parentheses first, all the operations inside parentheses. So we have this 4 minus 7. That gets us negative 3, and it's still inside parentheses because we haven't squared it yet. So we're going to drop everything else down. Alright, so from here we have nothing left inside the parentheses to do. So there's no operations inside there. So that tells us we're done with the P. Now we go on to exponents. So with this one we have two exponents. We have the 6 that's being squared and the negative 3 that's being squared. So the exponent only affects the thing that's directly in front of it. So with the 6, the negative sign isn't affected by the exponent, only the 6 is. So you would have 6 squared. So 6 squared means it's 6 times 6 to get us 36. With this negative 3, that's being squared because the whole thing is inside the parentheses. So you would have negative 3 times negative 3 to get us positive 9. We're going to drop everything else down. Alright, so don't forget the minus sign that's right here, drop it down. We finished exponents. So now we're on to multiply and divide. We're going to do that from left to right. Division comes first. It happens to come first in this problem, so we're going to divide first. So 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4. We're going to drop everything else down. And then now we have multiplication right here. So we're going to take 4 times 4, and that's 16. Drop everything else down. So we're done with multiply and divide. All we have down here is addition and subtraction. And with that, we're going to work from left to right. So we have 6 plus 16 first. That gives us 22. And then we have the subtraction, so we're going to combine that. 22 minus 36 gets us negative 14. And then add 9 to that, and you get negative 5. All right, hope that helps.